What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down what moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid did go down 6.76% today. It's a rather difficult day for a lot of growth stocks. 227 the low, 242 the high. And for volume, you had a little bit lower, so 76.9 million shares being traded, 100.7 is the average, so it just jumped up now. So I'll kind of take a look at the dark pool, but nonetheless, you're seeing it a little bit lower, and I don't really see that being that big of a deal, only because the last week we had very high volume, unrealistic volume if you ask me. So I think that just raised the average a little bit higher. But what really happened today was the market started to really sit down and think about what Powell mentioned yesterday. So potentially higher unemployment, higher inflation, lower growth. So that's kind of the circumstances for stagflation, which isn't good for anyone unless you're holding gold for the instance. But nonetheless, I think the market started to digest that. At the same time, even though Powell specifically stated for the May meeting there most likely won't be a cut, what truly did happen is this went up. So as crazy as that sounds, even though Powell just stated that, 30 minutes after he finishes speaking, this goes up. So people's likelihood of a cut, or assumed likelihood, is increasing. So definitely was a kind of comical kind of scenario, but we did have this that came out first thing. So initial jobless claims came in at 223, forecast was 225. Relatively good data, but at the same time, this does really dampen the whole likelihood of a cut. So it's all about what the market is looking for the next big catalyst being, and clearly it has focused on essentially rate cuts. So let me know your general thoughts on that. Today there was no official news from Lucid, no SEC filings, nothing like that. A couple of things to bring up. You did have the latest Flyover, which was done on the 19th, so yesterday. And so you saw one Gravity, I believe it was driving around, but he did state that most likely a lot of the gravities are being stored inside, and I think just the only time they leave is just to kind of ship them out. So there's a fast process going on, and I anticipate a lot of activity over the next week and a half, as this is the last week for Q1. That being said, as well, on a larger standpoint, it is quad witching as well as rebalancing. So this week is going to be a lot of volatility, but hopefully you do see a lot of these being kind of shipped out, just getting the numbers up overall. So yeah, it should be a fun time. But the only other thing that I wanted to essentially bring up was this, posted by Saudi Bay, and ultimately you see a Gravity retrofitted for self-driving. So as I mentioned, I think a couple days back, they did announce on Lucid's website, no official announcement, mind you, but on Lucid's website, you see the Dream Drive 2. So that's going to be associated for the Gravity and hands-free. So Mark did state that we'll be pleasantly surprised, and it'll be coming sooner than a lot of us anticipate. So maybe tail into Q2, early Q3, that's when we should see higher levels of autonomous driving, self-driving, and whatnot. So yeah, pretty cool to see this. Let me know your general thoughts on that. Aside from that, shorts did increase 728,000 shares today. 23.1% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 279.68 million shares overall are being shorted. As far as options, 431,000 in calls, 661,000 in puts. 42% of all the options being done today were bearish in nature, and as you can kind of see, there was a lot of activity here. So if we kind of pop this open, take a look at the premiums, so it looks like a lot of that was neutral in nature, some bearish ones right here, but yeah, it looks like for the most part 190,000 for a $2 put expiring May 16th 2025. So given the premium that was done on it, so 19-cent premium, ultimately it kind of categorizes it as neutral. But overall, as you can kind of see, there was just over 1 million in total premiums yesterday, 1.9, 3 million the day before. So it's still not really seeing that big amount of volume getting in through Lucid's options. Put/call ratio, on a side note, was 1.59. That was very high, and typically the last time it was roughly around that, Usually you see a green day kind of follow, but what do I know? So let me know your thoughts on that. Aside from that, of the call options that were purchased, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 250 going into next week, still between, looks like that 3 and 350. So that big catalyst that is going to be coming out next week, so that launch, I think it's on the 27th. Clearly people are anticipating the price to appreciate based on that. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 250. So based on this, people are anticipating a little bit more upside, at least in the short term. These are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So I just hit refresh, just added that, and that's why the volume did jump up most likely. But yeah, pretty good stuff for that. Dark pool, I will similarly hit refresh. So no real updates. The last one was done 5 minutes ago. That was for 1.17 million. And then aside from that, though, a lot of good transactions. Of course, dark pool is often enough linked to shorting and other large entities, but yeah, I think just today people are waiting for what is coming next. With it closing at 228, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So 223 is going to be a strong support. $2.30 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. I am looking at the 4-hour chart on a side note. Moving over to the 1 day, these are very strong support and resistance points. You have 206 and then 263 as kind of support and resistance. So just kind of take note of that. From today, there was no new analyst ratings, so it was just pretty much at the mercy of the broader market. Last one did come out, Adam Jonas, so that's what really kick-started Lucid's push higher. Aside from that, though, on the actual chart itself, so it is right now at looks like the ALMA is at $2.27, so it is above that, so that's a pretty good thing for that. $2.57 is going to be that 100-day moving average. Then you have the 50 at 274. So let me know your general thoughts on Lucid. Did you buy the dip? Did you sell? Do you think a lot of what has happened recently was unjust, or what's your kind of 2 cents on all of that? Again, if you are one of those individuals that believes the gap right here, as I mentioned, this recent push higher kind of did bounce off of that 100-day moving average, as you can kind of see right here, and essentially did fill in the gap. So for all extensive purposes, that has been kind of completed. So it is what it is. Stochastic RSI is rather overbought, so the first sign of weakness, whether it be broader market or specific to Lucid, you could see a little bit more downside. So I think today was more of a consolidation day. What tomorrow might bring is a hell of a lot of volatility, like I said, with quad witching and just general rebalancing. You'll definitely see a lot of volatility. So if you believe in Lucid, take advantage, buy the dip, do what you need to do. But let me know your thoughts on Lucid. What's your general 2 cents on, I guess, us not seeing all the crazy amount of gravities at AMP1? Do you think that is a sign that they have yet to really start ramping up, or is that just they're being hush hush with it? So what's your kind of thoughts? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, or crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.